Those no motor zones, that's something that, you know, I've wanted to do for a long time, and I've done it a few times here and there, but it's one of those things where you got to have somebody, a good partner that's willing to paddle, that's willing to, you know, take an adventure.
What is it?
Nice, another nice snook.
Whoa, jeez.
Oh, shark after him.
Dang, dude.
I mean, they got to the point where I was literally scared because I knew that we were surrounded. You know, I could see this dorsal fins.
Oh my God, big shark.
Jeez. Oh my God. Turning the boat over.
Yes, look at that guy. That is a shark.
That's the biggest fish I've ever caught.
I'm gonna continue with
Got him, relax.
Oh my God.
The Suffolk Saltwater Experience, presented by Yellowfin, with Captain Tom Rowland and Captain Rich Tudor.
One of the coolest things that we've done ever is go across the bay in the freezing cold weather. You know, I mean, that's something like that day that you got so excited about going fishing over there, that's a day where, man, I just call it in Key West. It's like, you know, there's nothing going on down there.
It was bad, and we didn't have a lot of options
freezing cold, blowing nasty. I just tell my customers, just pick up and go back home because it's not going to get any better for a week. And you're calling up saying, hey man, this is the best conditions ever. Come on up here. And all the way up, I'm driving up going, man, really, is this going to be any good?
It's a big adventure for me, man. I've never been anywhere that we're going, so you're the guide. I did more of it as a kid than I have as a guide, but it'll be a fun adventure.
Man, there was elaborate. We had to get the canoe and strap it on the boat. We had to get all our stuff. I didn't bring enough warm clothes, and I'm freezing, you know, but you know, I went with it, and sure enough, man, it was quite an adventure. It turned out to be cool, but I had my doubts.
Well, those no motor zones, that's something that, you know, I've wanted to do for a long time, and I've done it a few times here and there, but it's one of those things where you got to have somebody, a good partner that's willing to paddle, that's willing to, you know, take an adventure, and we were, you know, that is the perfect time to do it because there isn't a lot of other options. But I mean, you know, what we did is, you know, we went over from Islamorada, you know, we're able to run across there in relatively calm water, you know, from Hawks Cay, you know, it's just 15, 20 minutes to Islamorada, and you can run from there, and sheltered banks the whole way, even though it's blowing 30, no problem, especially in that bay boat. Throw the canoe on there and just go. And you know, we got across, I mean, it's like 40 minutes to get to, you know, some of those remote areas, and pull up in those little creeks, you know, unload that canoe, start working your way back up in there with all your gear.
Think about being in the front. You never know if the guy in the back's doing anything.
My job is to steer
You're just
back
working like crazy, and then you look back there, and the next thing you know, the guy's asleep.
Making our way up in there, we weren't sure what to expect, whether the hurricane had knocked some trees over or anything. It looked like we could get up in there.
The only way to get back there is a canoe.
Right.
It's totally virgin area, and you talk about fish.
Oh, there he is. Got him.
Good job.
Oh, it's a good fish. Might be a snook. Oh yeah, nice
All
snook.
right, cool.
We started catching fish all over, and we caught the big sea monster.
What's your bet?
I don't know.
Sawfish,
could be
shark.
a big Goliath, big shark. Anything. I mean, we
Goliath.
had a couple of redfish get eaten there. I think you got it hooked right this time.
That's a big fish in a tiny boat, man.
He's coming up the surface.
Big
shark. Big shark. Oh my God.
Dude, this is gonna be so much fun watching you get this one off.
You know what? I say you get them really tired. I was wondering what that was, eating those things off down there. What exactly do you have in mind here?
That's a lemon.
Oh boy.
Oh shoot.
All right, dude. I hate to say it, but I'm ready to go get that thing away.
Hold that stick just in case he comes in the boat. We can stabilize ourselves.
You know, and that was cool, trying to catch the redfish. We end up catching a big lemon shark and landing that and having to get up on the bank and doing some crazy stuff like that. And that was cool, but really, man, if you ask me, when we left that spot and continued to paddle on up into the creek, is when it really started to happen.
There you go.
There he is.
That looks like a good one. Yeah.
Again, the cast deserved it, you know. That's what's so rewarding. It's just cool. You know, to look back in there and see that spot. And then try to get in there.
That's a nice one, man. Here, I'll grab him for you.
Here, I'll grab him for you since he jumped in my lap. Hurry up, man. I got places to fish.
Well, I think I might have to delegate you to the back of the boat on the way home. I like the snook, man.
What a great day, man.
So much like a bass.
This is so much fun. I'm so glad you brought me up here because this is so cool. I mean, I've never done anything like this.
It's hard to believe it's little grounds we've covered and caught so many fish.
What is it?
Nice, another nice snook.
Whoa, jeez.
Oh, shark after him.
Dang, dude.
The Suffolk Saltwater Experience, presented by Yellowfin, is brought to you by Suffolk's, drawing the line on performance. By Yellowfin, only in a Yellowfin. By Bass Pro Shops, your adventure starts here. By Hawks Cay Resort, it's all about the water. By Quantum, fishing at a quantum level. And by Motor Guide, Strike King, and Guideline Sunglasses.
This is an awesome area. I mean, you talk about just a mass amount of life, and now one of the reasons why I think, you know, going up there in those cold conditions is important is not only is it cold, but the barometric pressure is high. It's dropping the water levels. It's the lowest tides of the year, and what happens is there's just countless miles of these shallow water. You know, we call them mosquito ponds, or you know, these little shallow ditches that even at high tides are only like that. But when that water gets low, I mean, it just all falls out. Every fish for hundreds of miles is into these creeks. I mean, snook on every cast. I mean, you're throwing of course, you're at the front of the canoe and you're in the better angle and you're hooking one and everything. But I was just dangling a shrimp off the back of the boat and wham, a snook hit it while I was just dangling it. I wasn't even casting it.
You know what? That's not the biggest snook in the world, but
that's a nice snook,
for a
man.
Key West guy, that's a pretty nice one. I ought to learn how to hold them. I found my little honey hole down here, though.
Well, I'll tell you what. I think we need to
we don't
get
need
you
to
in the
do
back
anything,
of the boat.
man.
That's what we need to do.
I'm getting bites every time.
Yeah, I noticed that.
And I started skipping it under there, and you know, we weren't catching much for a few minutes, but then all of a sudden we got to a little spot in that area where it was every cast, man. I was throwing in there catching snook, and it didn't seem to matter if I was skipping it under the bushes like I thought I was going to need to, or throwing it right down the middle. When I throw it right down the middle, I'd catch a trout every time. And
nice trout.
We've got it going off. Oh, this is a redfish.
That's incredible.
No, this is a big trout. Look at this trout.
Whoa. That is a really nice trout.
Nice. Here, grab one for me. Wow. Wow.
Look at that guy. I'll get him up
Texas
here.
boys would be proud of that, huh?
I'll tell you what, there's a lot of boys who'd be proud of that one right there.
the trout surprised me to catch him in there, and I don't know why I didn't think that. I mean, it's perfectly logical to me now, but I didn't really think that that was something that we would catch. I knew we would catch redfish and snook, but I didn't really think about trout.
Just one after another.
I think we found a
We
honey
found the
hole.
spot. We don't need to go anywhere. This is great right here.
That was impressive, though. I mean, there really were. I mean, it wasn't just the small juvenile snook. I mean, we caught some small ones, but I mean, we were getting some really nice ones. I mean, it was just such a rich fishery.
All right. Cool.
Right under there.
What is it?
Nice, another nice snook.
Whoa, jeez.
Oh, shark after him.
Dang, dude.
That was a shark.
Keep him out a rod length away or something.
Did you see that?
Well, I turned my head because I thought the canoe was turning over. But that was cool.
That's a nice snook, man. Look at that. He's got blood on his tail where that shark went after him.
Yeah, let's catch another one. This is like an Amazonian river adventure.
Look at that.
Let him go way over there.
Look at the
Barely nicked him, huh?
Yeah. That's nice. All right. And I will probably release him rather quickly.
Yeah, man. Keep your hands out of this
1,
water. This is bad
2,
area.
3.
Well, I'll tell you what, after the sea monster incident, I was sure that there was more down there. And I remember I hooked a big snook, and I was just like, put it right in your lap. That was so cool, because I was, I started worrying about the sharks and stuff, and maybe I don't want to put my hand in the water, so I just throw it in my good buddy Rich's lap back there, and I had the perfect swing, man. I could just reel it up and hey, take it easy, man. Come on, dude. Let them wear themselves out a little. Come on.
Happy birthday. There's a snook. I caught you a delicious bass.
Oh, man. Thank you.
That's the
Thank you.
best part about a low-sided boat.
All right. I got to return that favor.
Shucks.
That's Hey, can you do me a favor? Can you pull him that way?
I tell you, I'm a little apprehensive about the things that might be following that guy.
People come into the Everglades certainly to fish and to enjoy the birds, but there are a lot of people that come down here with just one desire. All they want is to see an alligator. That exotic thing that as a kid they saw Tarzan wrestling with, and they have these concepts from the Discovery Channel that this huge critter is going to come out and grab them, and so there's a bit of a scare, a bit of a thrill, but they definitely want the excitement of viewing an alligator. Well, we not only have alligators in Everglades National Park, we also have crocodiles. This is the only place in the world that you have alligators and crocodiles living in the same environment, and that's down here in the Flamingo, Florida Bay area. If you've got that fresh water flowing down, that's what the American alligator likes, the freshwater system. You have the saltwater and estuarine environment, that's what the American crocodile likes. So when the two waters are coming together, you never know with flamingo. You might see an alligator, you might see a crocodile. They look fairly similar. They're both fairly large crocodilians. The alligators are black in color, rounded head. They have kind of an overbite. The crocodiles are sort of a gray-green in color, very pointy head. And when their teeth mesh together, you can see top and bottom teeth together. That's how you know you're looking at a crocodile versus an alligator. So come to the Everglades, get your thrill of seeing an alligator, but also take the opportunity, make sure you go to Flamingo and look for the American crocodile. It's one of our endangered species, and this is the only place in the United States you're going to see it in the wild.
Such an incredibly rich environment. I mean, there's so many fish. I mean, so many birds and gators and crocodiles. I mean, all kinds of stuff up there. I mean, that's, the absolute heart of Everglades National Park. I mean, we're up there where those freshwater streams kind of come in and mix with, the salt water. I mean, that is truly the estuary.
This is what fishing was like, 60 years ago.
You know what? I gotta say, I might not have been as interested in it as I am now. It's like, to come up here and see this, it's awesome because I'm gonna rip his head off.
Now that way, away from me, come on, stop that! Dude, all right, fine, I cut your line, now you're in trouble.
Ah, you did cut my line, you little...
You're killing me here, you're killing me.
It was almost funny the first time. The second time, it had not gotten funny. It lost its funniness. And the third and fourth and fifth and sixth times, it was really something.
Well, it was only not funny from the back of the canoe because it retained its humor from the front. And, I know it started getting old, but it was the safest way to do it.
Yeah, they're not supposed to be this green when you get them in the boat.
I'm telling you, I'm afraid of the sharks.
The further we pushed back in there, we got through that zone where we just had a snook on every cast, the trout on every cast. We kind of hit these different zones, and then we got in there where it opened up a little bit, and we were catching a redfish on every cast. I mean, amazing how they kind of just grouped up.
There you go. There we are. There's a fish. Pretty good one, too.
What kind of fish is it?
I'm thinking maybe, I don't know, red maybe? Yeah, redfish. Awesome. There's had to be a fish here. Oh my God, big shark! Oh my God.
Turning the boat over.
Oh my God. I got the shark. Did you see that?
Yeah?
Move your rod. You want to chase him or what?
Yeah. See if we can get him too.
That looked as big as the boat, dude.
And then that's when not only were we catching the redfish on every cast, but all of a sudden the sharks moved in.
Yeah. Did you see that?
Yeah, that was cool. I thought we were going in.
I'll tell you what. Oh, there he goes. He's gone.
I thought we'd, kind of gotten away from the sharks, but the further we got in there, the bigger and more.
That's what I thought was going to happen too. I thought, man, sure enough, the sharks would be closer to the mouth, but it seemed like the density of sharks was further back in there, and I don't know if they were, concentrating around the redfish, because it did seem like where we were catching the redfish, that's where the sharks were. Maybe the redfish were following the sharks. I don't know.
You notice how we've gotten like this sling technique now that we've seen these sharks?
I'll tell you what, man. Yeah, we do. It is really cool. This is really some awesome fishing. To me, this is like going to Louisiana for the first time, because there's so many situations and opportunities there that I've never had before. This is the same kind of deal.
Oh yeah. That's a nice fish.
Oh, shark! Shark, coming after it. Don't jump in the boat, man. He's after you. Get it out of the water, Jeez, that's a big shark. Man, I'm telling you what, I saw that sucker. He comes up one more time, we might have to give him something too.
There's a lot of fish
You
in
don't
here.
want to be putting your feet in the water around here.
I mean, isn't it something to be in this little estuary, this little pond, and have such big
Let me
fish?
tell you something about little. We're in a little boat. And we got big fish.
All right, buddy. That's the, hope you don't get your fingers bit off release.
We're often asked to recommend one reel to satisfy a wide variety of applications. There's no doubt in my mind that the size 40 or 4,000 reel is the most versatile reel for inshore saltwater fishing and really quite a lot of offshore fishing. The 40 or 4,000 size reel is going to be capable of holding 200 to 250 yards of 10-pound monofilament depending on manufacturer. When you go to buy one of these reels for saltwater fishing, make sure that you're going to get one that's been specifically designed for saltwater applications. That's going to include ball bearings and a great ceramic drag. I like these Quantum Cabo or Boca reels because they have all the features that the other companies offer at a very, very competitive price. You can feel confident buying a size 40 reel because you're never going to outgrow this. There's always going to be a place in your fishing for a 40, whether it's catching bait offshore or whether it's catching big redfish or tarpon inshore. There's always going to be a place for this reel. Head out to Bass Pro and check out these reels. I guarantee you're going to get a great product at a great price. And I can promise you that the field research has been done on these. These have been beaten and abused because I did it myself for the last 5 or 6 years.
The Suffolk Saltwater Experience, presented by Yellowfin, is brought to you by Yellowfin, only in a Yellowfin. By Lowrance, we lead, we find, you win. By Mercury, #1 on the water. The Florida Keys in Key West, come as you are. And by Thumbdinger, Navionics, Scott Fly Rods, and Loadmaster.
Dude, could you imagine living here? I mean, if you were a little fish.
Well, they
And
obviously.
not only are you going to get eaten by the redfish.
Look at that trout.
Where's the shark?
Is that what you call cane pulling them?
I'm telling you.
Just an awesome place to fish. And I mean, when we got to that last spot and we started hooking those, that's when it got a little sketchy to me. I mean, it got to the point where I was literally scared because I knew that we were surrounded. At one time, I could see this dorsal fins come up and the water moving.
Yeah.
And I was just like, you know what, Tom? I think it's time to head home.
Yeah.
And as we're leaving,
I'm hungry. It's a convenient excuse.
Boy, I'll tell you what, that shark is on the prowl right there, boy. How long do you think it would take to get him to bite?
I don't know, but I got a fish right here. I got him up fast.
I'll tell you what, man, we're asking for it right here.
Yeah, we got to get out of here. We've had such good fishing.
An awesome place, but talk about rich, rich with life. I mean, every big fish, little fish. I would have never thought that, there could be that much.
It's definitely one of those situations where the harder you work to get there, the better the reward. And that's a lot like a lot of the backpacking that I've done in Yellowstone National Park and other places is, if you got to walk 30 miles to get there, nobody else is going. And the reward of getting there is oftentimes very much worth it.
It's amazing, is that shark is so on the prowl, and these fish still want to bite.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that just tells you how many fish are in here. What an incredible fishery.
Accommodations provided by Hawks Cay Resort Marina and Villas. It's all about the water.